And a very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I'm Iberi. Ugonna in the headlines tonight. Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency and World Bank begins disbursement of funds to communities benefiting from their social development program. Special reports by our correspondent explores opportunities of technological transfer at Mbuka Old Spare Parts Market, Obosi. President Buhari says appointment in his new administration will be based on merit and national spread. On the foreign scene tonight, investigators into Boeing 737 MAX 8 Ethiopian airline crash say anti-stall system was activated before the crash, similar to that of Lion Air crash months ago. In all details of the news, farmers and yam dealers in Umueri, Anambra East Council area may not suffer under intense sun or heavy downpour to ply their trade from next month upwards. This is because the seed yam market is in the offing and likely to be completed in a month's time, courtesy of the Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency. Similarly, Enugu Aguleri will soon become proud owners of a civic center being constructed by the same agency. Correspondent Chibuzo Bidike witnessed the official handover of funds to these communities by the agency and now reports.
Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency, an initiative of the Obiano administration, funded in conjunction with the World Bank, commenced the disbursement of checks for over 9 million naira worth of projects in each of the two communities, Umueri and Enugu Aguleri. According to the general manager of the agency, Mr. Chudi Mojehu, they just released 30% of the cost of each project to the communities, adding that more funds will be released in stages as the project advances. It is understood that apart from the seed yam market, Umueri will also benefit from a road rehabilitation project as well as construction of a culvert, while Enugu Aguleri will, apart from the civil center, get a community market built for them from the CSDP funds. Mr. Mojehu said same method of batch-by-batch release and monitoring of project implementation will be applied by Community and Social Development Agency across the 10 communities in the first batch as approved by the World Bank to ensure the fast-tracking of the stipulated projects plan and guidelines.
Well, one is what we commenced today is a prelude to the formal state launch of the project by His Excellency the Governor of Anambra State, completion. Also, the communities have also shown a willingness, ability and readiness to also move at a very fast pace in terms of getting these projects implemented within a record time.
The agency kicked off the launch of disbursement of checks at Anambra East Council area with a courtesy call on the traditional ruler of Enugu Aguleri, Eze Chukwuemeka Eri, where they explained that Community Social Development Program project is community-driven development project that focuses on building and rebuilding social and natural resource infrastructural services at the community levels. For the Transition Committee Chairman of Anambra East Local Government Area, Honorable Pius Ifeadi, represented by Mrs. Chizoba Nwajago, thanked the state government and World Bank for continuously investing in rural communities to alleviate the sufferings of the poor and assure that the local government council will keep an eye on the projects.
It's so fantastic. I don't know how to appreciate our Excellency for what he has been doing to the whole communities in Anambra State. Indeed, he's really governed. We so much thank him for all he has been doing. Even the local government chairman and the entire members there were so impressed, especially at this Anambra East local government.
In their various responses, the traditional ruler of Enugu Aguleri, Eze Chukwuemeka Eri, represented by Anebunam Udanyinya, and the President General of Umueri, Chief Pius Okonkwo, said that the choice of the projects will go a long way in the lives of the people, as the project chosen will seal a bond of unity among the community.
Very, very glad, deep heart in my heart. You know, they say many are called, few are chosen, and we happen to be among the chosen communities for this project. And at the end of the day, you all witnessed what happened. The signing of the check and in short, the commencement of the exercise, the construction.
It is worthy to note that the Community and Social Development Program is different from the State Government Community Choose Your Project initiative, where each of the participating community is allowed to select projects that could be delivered under a 10 million naira budget. From Umueri, in Anambra East Local Government Area, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
Anambra State is to host the Southeast Zonal Delegate Conference of Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union, RATTAWU, in May this year. The National Vice President, Southeast, RATTAWU Comrade Emeka Kalu, disclosed this when he led a delegation of Southeast leadership of RATTAWU to a courtesy call on the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, in his office in Awka. Staff reporter Njideka Okoye was there and now reports.
The delegation comprises of the Southeast National Vice President, National Officer of Southeast, National Woman Leader, Zonal Woman Leader, Chairman and Secretaries of the 5 Eastern States, and leadership of Anambra Chapter of RATTAWU. Disclosing the aim of their visit, Comrade Kalu said that because the history of RATTAWU in the Southeast Zone cannot be told without mentioning ABS as the hallmark of the entire union, they chose ABS as the venue for their meeting to set up local organizing committee for the conference. Given the theme of the conference as Media and Culture Sector, the hallmark of national integration and development, Comrade Kalu said because RATTAWU is the largest union for media and cultural workers in Nigeria, they want to showcase the rich cultural heritage of the Southeast Zone at the week-long event.
Preparatory to our zonal conference of the 5 Southeast zones, we have scheduled a meeting here to hold in ABS. That is why we are here.
On his part, the National Officer Southeast of RATTAWU, Comrade Ifeanyi Sunday, thanked Governor Obiano for giving ABS a first lift, which he said is of international standard, and Chief Uche Nwora for his open-door administration and for the cordial relationship between him and the staff of the establishment.
It's a very happy moment for us here. It's good to see you, and we know we have that feeling that there is peace and absolute tranquility within you and our members working here.
Responding, Chief Nwora thanked them for the visit, saying that Governor Obiano's friendly disposition with the workers has made him to make ABS the most modern digital station in the Southeast and caring for the welfare of staff.
If you notice, technology now is what is driving the industry. The governor, most graciously, has built a brand new radio and TV. So that's, the biggest achievement I keep telling the staff is at least you know that in the next how many years you have brand new equipment to work with. Unlike before, they used to call ABS Aroma Broadcasting Service.
In Awka, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
And away from that, emerging as the only woman in the 30-member 7th Anambra State Assembly is no mean feat, and one that calls for gratitude to God and to man. This was the major reason the member representing Onitsha South 2 constituency, Honorable Beverly Nkemdiche Ikpeazu, was accompanying to the altar of God at Christ the King Parish, Onitsha, by family members, friends, and well-wishers to thank God for his benevolence and victory on the just concluded House of Assembly election in the state. Staff reporter Njideka Okoye again was there for ABS and now reports.
The Thanksgiving took another dimension when a woman showed that what a man can do, a woman can do better by using flute to praise God, as all the words in Onitsha South 2 constituency gathered at Honorable Nkemdiche Ikpeazu constituency office, Uguta Road, Onitsha, for a thank you reception. Honorable Nkemdiche Ikpeazu, in her speech, thanked God for the victory and to the people of her constituency for voting for ABGA and having confidence in her, assuring them more quality representation. She added that she will concentrate more on community projects and engage more with the people.
and I will use the fund to at least accomplish some of the things that are needed in the constituency. We're going to work together. This is a service that I've come to serve them, and we're going to work together to accomplish that.
For the member that represented Onitsha South 2 at the State Assembly, Honorable Obiora Chukwuka, Honorable Nkemdichi Ikpeazu is a gift to her constituency, and her good representation has made the people of Odakpu to vote her for the third time, urging her to keep the tempo. Speaking, the ABGA chairman, Anambra North Senatorial Zone, Chief Chinedu Nnatuanya, ABGA Secretary, Onitsha South, Barrister Noel Udoji, and Director General of her campaign organization, Mr. Ifechukwu Okosieme, said Mrs. Nkemdichi Ikpeazu has touched many lives in the constituency, and she is a gift to humanity, and thanked the people for standing for the truth. Earlier, in a homily, the parish priest, Christ the King Catholic Church Parish, Onitsha, Reverend Father Godwin Okolo, stated that one reaching greatness is the mercy of God, and stressed the need for giving and caring for the downtrodden, and thanked God for the person of Honorable Nkemdichi Ikpeazu. The event featured the empowerment of Mr. Obiora, one of Mrs. Nkemdichi Ikpeazu's oldest supporters, with Toyota Camry, and cutting of birthday cake by Honorable Nkemdichi Ikpeazu. From Onitsha, Njedeka Okoye, ABS News.
Necessity, as the saying goes, is the mother of invention, and the best method of learning a language is by speaking it. The above sayings appears to have informed the ingenious ways transfer of technology is taking place at Mbuko-Obosi Old Motor Parts Market. Ogochukwu Ranu is our anchor on this expository report.
Mbuko-Obosi is a market that deals on fairly used motor spare parts and other condemned ions, generally referred to as scraps, gotten from different parts of the country and outside Nigeria, and brought to Mbuka market, where it is restructured for use by the traders, who are mostly able-bodied, energetic youths. It was also observed at the market that some of the fairly used parts are reconstructed by these young men to make their daily living. Speaking to ABS, Ogbuefi Ezeobodo Samuel Okechukwu, the President General of the market, who disclosed that he has been in the market for 21 years and started as a radiator repairer before he got to the present status, said the ingenuity of an Igbo man is seen in the ability to reconstruct, giving an example where they used the spring of Mercedes 123 to insert in Sienna to enable it carry heavy loads. He further revealed that the market, which fits the poor, as it could be started with a sum of 5,000 to 10,000 naira, have about 90,000 able-bodied youths who specialized in different areas and appealed to the state government to provide access roads and security to the market. Pastor Chinedu Ugwebo, the PRO of the market, who said that poverty is the mother of ingenuity, pointed out that initially people do not regard them because scrap business is seen as dirty, but God through the business lifted many of them from grass to grace. Pastor Chinedu said foreigners have visited the market to witness how the Igbos explore their God-given talents by converting abandoned motor parts to function, pointing out that most of them do not have formal education, but out of their ingenuity can create, reconstruct, and revive those parts to work again.
The people before it's in Azu Mbuko-Obosi, but today, with this little thing or this thing we are doing here, God has used it to bless the Igbo.
Mr. Lawrence Ndubisi, who repairs propeller of cars, bought from Belgium, told the ABS that he learned how to fix the propeller and the market, saying that he gets his means of livelihood from there.
So, still biscuit and the Kedozo of Ma, who's on cause on the Kedozo of Ma. Government.
It was also gathered from others who spoke that Peugeot radiator can be used to repair Japanese cars, while Toyota gearbox can be used in Belgian car. Igbo youths in the market, though not highly educated, have mighty minds to recreate. Ogochukwu Orano for ABS News.
Still to come in the news tonight, President Buhari says appointment in his new administration will be based on merit and national spread. On the foreign scene, investigators into Boeing 737 MAX 8 Ethiopian crash said anti-stall system was activated before crash, similar to that of Lion Air crash months ago. The news returns in a moment. Please stay with us.
Here is a public service announcement. Anambra State government cancels collection of levies and fees in all markets in Anambra State. This is to inform the public that Anambra State government has cancelled the collection of all forms of levies and fees in markets and streets in Anambra State. The cancellation will be in effect until 1st June 2019. The 3-month cancellation period is to enable government and leadership of the various markets to deliberate and agree on a better and more effective model of collecting fees and levies in the markets. The public is hereby also reminded that the ban on sales of emblem is still in force. Anybody caught violating this cancellation and ban on sales of emblem will be arrested and prosecuted. This is for the attention of market unions and their leadership, traders, security agencies, and the public. Announcer, Mr. C. Don Adenoba, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment.
We're very glad to have you back for the rest of the news. Moving on to our national stories, President Muhammadu Buhari has said the merit and national spread will be his guiding principle in the allocation of political offices in his second term. The president also assured that every part of the country will have the sense of belonging in a second term, which begins on May 29 this year, and that he will continue to strive for peaceful coexistence among all Nigerians, irrespective of their religious beliefs. This is as the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has advised President Buhari to ensure that there is ethnic and religious balancing in his appointment, stressing that there is no part and religious group in Nigeria without qualified men and women. CAN also told the president to adhere strictly to the doctrine of separation of powers as enshrined in the Nigerian constitution, and also double the efforts in ensuring that the only Christian schoolgirl, Lay Sharibu, who was still in captivity of the Islamic Boko Haram group for not denouncing her Christian faith, is set free. On the foreign scene, investigators into a Boeing 737 MAX crash in Ethiopia that killed 157 people have reached a preliminary conclusion that an anti-stall system was activated before the plane hit the ground. The Wall Street Journal reported today, citing people briefed on the matter. The newspaper said the preliminary findings from the black box recorders were subject to revisions, adding a preliminary report from the Ethiopian investigators was expected within days. The plane crashed on March 10 shortly after takeoff from Addis Ababa. Investigators looked into a deadly 737 MAX crash in Indonesia. October have also focused on the new anti-stall system called Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCAS. According to a preliminary report from the Indonesian investigators released in November, the MCAS on the Lion Air flight was repeatedly pushing the plane's nose down due to erroneous sensor information. The two crashes, barely 5 months apart, have claimed a total of 346 lives. On Wednesday, Boeing said a planned software fix would prevent repeated operation of the system that is at the center of safety concerns. Instead of depending on a single sensor signaling the angle of the plane nose, the MCAS will rely on data from both of the plane's sensors. Inter-house sports competition is an extracurriculum activity school children look forward to, as it creates platform for them to showcase their talents and build good spirit of sportsmanship among themselves. Correspondent Faith Onyemuche was at the annual inter-house sports competition of Dennis Memorial Grammar School on Onitsha and now reports.
Memorial Grammar School on its Founders Day alongside its annual inter-house competition. Behind our students colorfully dressed in their houses, ready for the competition.
Students of Dennis Memorial Grammar School on Onitsha were filled with excitement as the school celebrated its annual inter-house sport competition and Founders Day. The event kicked off with a brief church service at the school chapel. In his sermon, the school chaplain, Reverend Onyebuchi Emefo, who spoke on the topic focused on the finish line, charged the students to be focused on their Christian life and academics.
This school has been known for academic excellence, so moral excellence too. They should also avail themselves for the spiritual race that is set before us.
The church service, which was immediately followed by the inter-house sport activities, attracted students from various schools, old boys of the MGS, parents, and notable dignitaries across the state. Speaking later during the inter-house sports, the chairman on the occasion, Sir Dr. Enrique Anazodo, represented by an associate professor, Department of Music, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Dr. Nnamdi Onora, said the event will help build good spirit of competition among the students while commending parents for their turnout in supporting the children. In his remark, the principal of the school, Reverend Canon Chigozie Anieto, said sports and games are an integral part of a student's life as he encouraged the student to participate in games and sports to enjoy health and vigor of life.
Sports and games are an integral part of a student's life. A student should study hard to be successful in competitive examinations, but he or she should also play games and sports to enjoy the health and vigor of life.
In their separate speeches, some of the students, Messieurs Tobechukwu Emelukwa from Howell's House and Chukwuemeka Mozie from Livingston House, said the inter-house sport event is an activity they always look forward to, expressing happiness to be part of this year's event. The event featured match pass, relay, martial arts, cultural dance, presentation of prizes, among others.
Dennis Memorial Grammar School Onitsha 2019 annual inter-house sport competition.
The remains of the traditional ruler of Aguleri, Eze Christopher Idigo, has been interred in his Aguleri Palace. Speaking during the requiem mass held in his honor, Governor Willie Obiano extolled the monarch as a man who enthroned lasting peace in Aguleri Kingdom. Government House correspondent A.G. Kabana reports that the mass was held at St. Joseph's Pro-Cathedral Catholic Church, Aguleri. Report.
In colorful displays and clothing, Igwe Idigo arrived at church in a motorcade and was received by Governor Obiano, his wife, and the Aguleri cabinet members. Members of his immediate and extended family, Ndi Aguleri, Anambra State ESCO members, House of Assembly members, Agba Faithful, led by its national chairman, Chief Victor, members of other political parties, top government functionaries, the academia, among others, attended the mass. The former Commonwealth Secretary General, Chief Emeka Ayoko, Senator representing Anambra Central, Chief Victor Ume, traditional rulers, among others, also attended the mass, celebrated by Catholic bishops, including Most Reverend Dennis Isuzo, Most Reverend Jonas Benson Okoye, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, Most Reverend Peter Obaleke, among other retinue of clergymen. According to Governor Obiano, Aguleri is not mourning because Eze Idigo lived and ruled well, calling on them to rejoice in thanksgiving to God for his manifold blessings to the community through the gift of Eze Idigo, because he is one of the best traditional rulers Aguleri ever enthroned.
When I got there, he said, then when I want to give you a level. Igwe ruled for 24 years, 24 years, and Aguleri were peace.
Earlier in a homily, Reverend Father Joseph Mwakobi, who prayed that DIGOS exit will sustain peace, unity, better relation in his family, Aguilera and neighboring communities, stressed that people should strive to live a good life, accommodate one another, and shun selfish quest for early gains, retarding growth and development.
Maybe I can guess what is going on in your minds. Surely some will say, it is not yet my portion. And some may say, why we said that? But I know it is not yet my portion, because I have a lot of things yet to do.
Speaking to the ABS, the member representing RATTAWU constituency at the State Assembly, Dr. Pascal Abodike and Chief Romiezo Onwuka joined voices to ask the governor and the Aguilera to initiate measures to sustain existing peace in the community. The mass featured prayers, offertory, choir renditions, among others. Eze Christopher of Idigo Royal Dynasty, who was born on November 25, 1944 and joined his ancestors on January 11, 2019, was the traditional ruler of Aguilera from 1995 to 2019.
And that's it in the news tonight. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by logging onto our website www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go tonight, the main points again: Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency and World Bank have begun disbursement of funds to communities benefiting from their social development program. Special report by our correspondent explored opportunities of technological transfer at Mbuka Old Spare Parts Market of Bosi. President Buhari has said appointment in his new administration will be based on merit and national spread. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that investigators into Boeing 737 MAX 8 Ethiopian airline crash says anti-stall system was activated before the crash, similar to that of Lion Air crash months ago. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Ebere Ugunna.